Big Manny Studios presents an almost original production. Big Manny 4, General Manny. Big Manny by Jaden Christ. Written and illustrated by Jaden Christ. Narrated by Jaden Christ. With special guest Alisa Zakharuk. It's early in the afternoon on the 16th of October 2078. Emmanuel Manny Heffely III is very small and very angry. His dyed grey unibrow twitched angrily. Manny's enemy stood in front of him in the giant open field of Hemel Hempstead, with both their armies behind them. Obama grimaced for a second to show his fake tooth that Manny caused, and then he bellows at his rival. General Manny, we can't avoid this fight any longer. Let's end this now. General Manny replies.
If I am to win, I need not to explain. If I lose, I should not be here to explain. Let's end this now.
The two generals backed away from each other and signalled to their respective armies to get ready. They both pointed at each other and screamed,
Attack!
General Manny immediately runs behind the other Mannies, but Super Obama stands his ground and prepares to fight. All of the small Mannies pull out their guns and shoot wildly in the air with hundreds of loud bangs, not really hitting much. Whenever they ran out of bullets, they pull out magazines from their pockets and fumble around trying to reload. None of them are very good at this, since they had to teach each other on how to do these things that none of them knew how to do. On the opposite end of the battlefield, the Super Joes shot cannonballs from their robotic arms with ear-bursting booms. The cannonballs would fly high into the air and explode as they hit the ground. The Super Joes would need to kill roughly 1 million small Mannies each if they wanted even a chance of taking them all out. After hours of fighting, everyone splits up across the huge park. Super Joes continue to fire their hot metal balls at the near infinite Mannies. The booms would vibrate through everyone's skulls and defile their eardrums. Then, once they hit their targets, the explosion is blinding, and blood would fly everywhere, small body parts strewn across the grass. However, the tide of battle began to turn as the Mannies started to take out the robots. Thousands at a time would fire bullets into a Super Joe. Individually, they were weak, but together they were strong. And eventually, they would blow up an Obama soldier in a fiery red burst, flinging sharp metal shards into every direction. Meanwhile, Matei is turning Mannies into red paste with his near-infinite strength. One punch to the head cracks a Manny's skull into dust. A perfect swing would send his fist straight through a Manny's entire body, killing them instantly. Matei's power makes him feel unstoppable, and he dances in the mud and blood surrounding his feet. Somewhere nearby, Super Obama is mowing down Mannies left and right. He stomps on them with all his hatred for what Manny has done to the world. They can't even touch him with the supersuit on. Suddenly, a barrage of Mannies jump up at Obama for an overhead strike, but Super Obama was prepared, and he uses his most powerful attack, the plasma beam. He shoots 2 wide blue lasers out of his robotic hands, and they merge together to create a blinding sheet of light. As soon as the plasma touches the Manny's skin, it begins to burn into ash, completely disintegrating them. The small Mannies caught on the edge of the beam are painfully disconnected from the rest of their body, and their remaining limbs fly off in another direction. In all this violence and bloodshed, Obama just laughs. While all of that was going on, Walter White is in a standoff with a single Manny. They stare into each other's eyes, unblinkingly. Each of them holds their gun at their waist, and when it felt right, they both throw up their arms and fire. The Manny is shot through the heart and killed instantly. Walter barely reacts and holsters his gun, but when his hand touches his hip, he feels warm, thick blood flow out of him. He tries to walk away, but his legs feel weak and he falls on his back into the mud. Walter stares up at the sky as his vision blurs. Blood pools around the old man. He struggles to care about this, and he doesn't know why. but he doesn't need to know. Walter White was dead. As the battle went into night, and then into the next morning, it began to turn to General Manny's favour, as they took out more of the Super Joe Bidens. Both sides are struggling, with very few soldiers each. Everyone was tired and needed to rest, but surely the end is soon. Giga Matei was feeling the fatigue the hardest. He wasn't used to being in his Giga form for this long, and it was taking its toll. Some of the Mannies noticed this, and a large group of them crowded around the grey man, climbing up his muscular legs onto his broad shoulders. They pinned his arms down until Matei couldn't move. A small Manny with ripped sleeves climbed up to the top of the pile of Mannies and stuffed his hands over Matei's mouth. Giga Matei tried to scream.
Oh, I can't breathe. Alana, I'm coming for you.
The lack of air in his body weakened him further, and his very lungs began to rip. After a lot of pain and struggle, Matei stopped breathing, and he was dead. The battle slowed down significantly. Obama would not back down, but General Manny hadn't surrendered yet, so he knew that this would go to the last man standing. Surrounded by dead Mannies and hot chunks of metal, Super Obama stands, battered and bruised. Adrenaline is the only thing keeping him going in the early hours of the morning. He picks up a scared-looking Manny and raises him to eye level. The Manny shouts with tears in his eyes,
Please don't kill me.
but Obama wasn't going to stop now, and he replies simply with a, no. And he fires the plasma beam once again, directly into the boy's face, killing him instantly. Obama drops what is left of the headless body, and it hits the muddy grass with a thud. Obama looks around for his next opponent, but can't see anyone. Suddenly, he snaps out of his violent rage and sees the destruction around him. As far as his eyes can see, there's bloody body parts and short-circuiting Joe Biden heads laying in the dirt and blood. Obama feels terrible for this horrible loss of life he's caused. Surely he could have resolved this with less violence, but it's too late for that now. The ex-president yells with regret. Oh my squid, everyone is dead. My dear friends, they are dead. General Manny must have escaped. I can't see his car anywhere. I have to find him so I can end this. The old man climbs out of his supersuit carefully, as so not to hurt himself further. His face is covered in deep purple bruises, and the blood coming out of his broken nose has dried. He locks up the suit and says, I'll leave this here so General Manny doesn't get the wrong idea. Then he walks across the field, following the muddy tire tracks left by the small evil. A little while later, Obama stumbles through the abandoned town, looking for any sign of General Manny. He hasn't slept in over 24 hours, and he just wanted this to be over. Then he sees something. General Manny's car. The car is a late 1930s model that belonged to the late dictator Adolf Hitler, and it's not clear exactly how Manny got his hands on it. The important thing is that it's easy for you to spot, and Obama has spotted it. He runs over and shouts, this must be it, as he approaches the only house still standing. It has some writing on the roof that Manny would regret putting on there. Obama enters the house and looks around. Everything inside has been untouched for decades, covered in an inch-thick layer of dust and sheets of spiderwebs. He finds a small room with an old washing machine, and just behind it was a set of wooden stairs that go into darkness. Obama can't even see the bottom, but he knows he has to go down. Obama wonders, how deep does this, go? Eventually, Obama reaches the bottom of the stairs and opens the door. He tries to look around, but it's very dark in the room. Then there is a small click, and a single dangling light bulb flickered on directly above General Manny's head. Obama points his finger at General Manny and says, Manny, I've found you. We need to end this here and now. But no more death. We need to resolve this. General Manny's unibrow furrows with a distaste for Obama. His fingers are curled around a small handgun that he swings next to his own head and yells at the top of his lungs.
Don't take another step, or I'll shoot myself. Then you'll always feel guilty for killing me. And you'll never know the secrets of becoming big. So don't try anything. You're going to let me out of here, and you'll never come after me. Okay? Mr. Obama? Okay?
Manny's face was sweating so much it was smudging the fake stubble he'd drawn on with marker. At the same time, Obama is very worried and trying to come up with something fast. He looks at Manny with a concerned smile and says softly, Okay, Manny, I understand. But you don't need to do this. This isn't you, buddy. Manny seems to connect with this display of kindness, and he looks calmer immediately. Obama thought he should take a small step forward to grow this bond. He takes a single foot forward and... bang! The fiery bullet sizzles through Manny's skull, burning the flesh and tearing it apart. The impact blew his head wide open, sending chunks of brain matter flying in every direction. One bit of bone gets lodged in Obama's shoulder, and he screams in pain. Then the bullet careens out of the other side and hits the opposite wall. Manny Heffely was dead. His body stays upright for a second before falling on its side with a wet thud, gushing blood by the bucket seeping into the hard wood floor. Obama recovers from his shoulder injury, but is frozen in shock. He can't believe what he's just watched. Is there anything he could have done? Then he remembers something. One of the identical scientists had given him something. The one-time use Revive lip gloss. He didn't exactly remember what the scientists had said to him, but he had no other option. Obama says aloud, I have to give him the kiss of life. Obama gets out a small golden case and rubs the goo on his lips. He hopes that this works and closes his eyes. Then he leans down and lightly kisses the nose of his dead rival. In a blinding golden light, Manny's body shines with a healing aura. Obama covers his eyes, but when he opens them, he could only see white, and he had a ringing in his ears. Eventually, he adjusted and saw something he never expected. Manny Heffely was alive and with no sign of evil. His eyes were back to a solid black, and you couldn't even see his veins. Manny seemed to be back in his body from when he was 3, and it's unclear why. Not that it matters, because Manny was cured. He says with all the calm and kindness he's been missing for the last 53 years.
Thank you, Obama. You've cured me, so I'll be good now. I'm really sorry.
Obama looks back at the boy in front of him and smiles. That's so great, Manny. Do you think after all this fighting and hiding, we could get some beers and just talk? Roughly a year later, Manny and Obama are laying on sunbeds outside the White House. President Jimmy Donaldson lets them live here from time to time. The two best friends are just drinking and hanging out, talking about guy stuff. But then Obama asks a question that could change everything. Hey, Manny, why did you get big all those years ago? Manny sits up in his chair and looks up in thought for a second. Then he finally answers.
Well...
To be continued. And that's Big Manny 4. Sorry this one took a bit longer to come out than I'd hoped, but I've been caught up with exams, but they're finally over, so no need to worry about them anymore. This book is one that I've never really been too happy with, but turning it into this video has been a lot of fun. I won't go on too long about about this, but I hope you're excited for the next one because this is where I feel Big Manny starts to get really good. So if you're interested, then leave a subscribe and then like and then comment in that order. Okay, you can go now. Bye.